Marion Orton Recycling Drop-Off Center. It's grand opening, and I am so thrilled that you all are here today. This has been a long time coming. Recycling is important. It's not only important for ourselves, but for our children and our children's children, and for the earth, that we keep the stuff out of the landfill, and we learn to recycle. And this was something that we wanted to do a couple of years ago, an expanded recycling center, and that was one of the things that I promised the citizens that we would do. And thanks to you all and a city councilman, I saw some of them here. I saw Rhonda Adams, I saw Della Gray. Am I missing anybody from the council? Thank you all. Because of their visionary work and your visionary work, we stand here today and we opened up this recycling center. Thank you all. Now, I want to say just a few words about Marion. When I first ran for city council, I wasn't quite as classy as I am today.
And what for?
And I ran for city council in Ward 4, and she was one of the first people that I ran into. And I said, Marion, what do I need to do? And she said, you need to be a good recycler and save the environment. And she gave me about a 2-hour. Did y'all ever hear those things? But see, Bill, but I will tell you this about her. I never once heard her say anything negative about anybody. Not one time. She did what she believed in. She set her course, and she was not concerned about what anybody thought or said, and she moved forward with whatever she wanted to do. And if they criticized her, she never came down on them, and she said they have a right to say whatever they want to say, and she moved forward. And she moved the city forward, and she was a mayor, and I would go to her as council, for her council as a council member and as a mayor, and she gave me invaluable counsel, and I do miss her so. But today we named this, thanks to Rhonda brought that forward to the council. Thank you, Rhonda Adams. Della Gray, she supported that. It was a wonderful thing. Thank you all for doing that. And now I'm going to turn it over to Marion Serafini, and she's going to talk a little bit about Marion. Thank you all very much.
Marion Orton, and welcome to everybody, especially Billy, Marion's son. All of our friends are here, and I'm here also as president of the League of Women Voters. You're going to hear a little bit about Marion's involvement in recycling in the League. Our friend Marion Orton was an educator, a visionary, and a tenacious, brave, kind, as you mentioned, determined leader. She taught a lot of us how to impact public policy, especially on environmental issues. In 1971, we're going back to the 70s, she had already served on the City of Fayetteville Board of Directors, so she was quite savvy about the needs of this community and its potential to commit to environmentally sound waste management while being a steward of the city's resources. While Marion made an impact locally, she was a very global thinker and made impacts far beyond the city limits of Fayetteville, Arkansas. As the citizens of Fayetteville pondered the ideas of recycling and reclaiming waste products, the League of Women Voters of Washington County studied with Marion. That's what we do. A comment from League member Jean Twarazer is, my only thought is that I had never heard of recycling till Marion began talking about it. I had always reused things like aluminum foil, boxes, and bottles, but was glad to learn that it was a positive thing to do to help the environment. Working with the subcommittee of the City of Fayetteville's Pollution Control Committee, Marion took the lead in establishing a recycling center which opened on West Street in October of 1971. There was also a newspaper substation at Butterfield Trail School. Martha Agee of Uptown School remembers, not long after Uptown School, Fayetteville's first alternative school, began in the fall of 1972, Marion Orton and her helpers opened the first recycling center in an old building located behind or where the back part of Walton Arts Center is now located, she came to Uptown and talked to the students and staff members. She told us about the startup program and what she and others hoped to accomplish by opening the recycling center. She asked if some of the students could find time to volunteer there, and several did, sometimes on their lunch hour or during a study period. Others were curious about what they were doing, and many of them helped spread the word in the community. That was certainly Marion. Marion's neighbor and friend, Ethel Simpson, recalled, "My sons and I participated in Marion's first effort at community recycling one summer in the early 1970s. Mike and Chris spent some time at the center, which was along West Avenue, I think, in an old factory warehouse building. They sorted out bottles from other stuff." League member Libby Wheeler remembers Marion saying that so many of the volunteers were young people and that they really enjoyed smashing the glass bottles. Marion's friend Elizabeth Reagan reported that she put her kids in the car and they all went to volunteer at the recycling center. She said it was staffed by all volunteers and it didn't always smell so good. We know that Marion was on a path to improve the quality of life in Fayetteville. She volunteered hours and hours of her time to keep the center open and functioning, and used this time to educate citizen after citizen, child after child. She absolutely loved it and was reelected to the City Board of Directors in 1972. The result of her first efforts were reported as follows in the Northwest Arkansas Times. 90 days of recycling in Fayetteville is less than 1% effective. 90 days collection results in the recycling of approximately 1 day's solid waste. Its chief value is focusing attention on the idea of recycling. We've come a long way thanks to her efforts from that small start. And of course the Grapevine, the alternative newspaper that we all read, said the purpose of the project is to show